What is up, guys? So today we are going to be reviewing this 2021 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve. Let's get into it. Alright, looking at the side of the vehicle, here is the shape of it. What do you guys think about the shape? I'm not too much of a fan of it. Let me know what you guys think. Here are the rims you get. These are the optional rims. I like the base model rims more, actually, surprisingly. You could also get these in black if you go for the carbon edition. I wish they would offer the carbon edition on the higher trims, but it's more like a mid-range trim option. Looking at the front, these are the LED headlights you get. LED headlights are standard on every model, although these are the upgraded ones. These are adaptive, but no LED turn signal, just like a halogen turn signal. Honestly, I think they should add a LED turn signal. They're probably going to add that when they redesign this car. You also get LED fog lights, which is really nice. I know a lot of Mazda vehicles don't have fog lights, so it's nice that they give you it on this car. One thing I really like about Mazdas is the grills, how it kind of protrudes in, but then you have the radar sensor that kind of pops out. I think that makes it look kind of elegant. Now, looking at the back, these are the LED taillights you get standard on this model. Other models will give you a halogen one. Honestly, I think these taillights are a little bit too small in this vehicle. This is the ugliest part of the vehicle in my opinion. I really like the front, but I think the back looks kind of ugly. But styling is subjective, and styling isn't that important to me in a vehicle, so. No LED turn signals, which I wish they would add, but it's whatever. It's not too big of a deal. I really like how they give you this turbo badge because this is a turbo model. I wish my Mazda 6 had that. I know the newer Mazda 6s have that, but I like how they let you know it's a turbo, so then you want to know who you're racing. You also get 2 exhaust outlets down there. I wish they would make them a little bigger since this is the turbo model. These are just a tiny bit too small to me, but it's whatever. And you also get this all-wheel drive badge. Now let's try and open up the tailgate. Oh, I don't have the key on me. Now let's open up the tailgate. Sorry if you want a foot activated feature. Looks like you don't get it, but at least it's electronic, so that's really nice. And looking at the interior, people are like, oh, this car has like 27 cubic feet of cargo space. Who even knows what a cubic foot is? This is how you can tell how big the cargo space is when you put all my clothes. This is how much space you get. So this is an average size sweatshirt. Here's a swimsuit. This shows you how much cargo space you get. I like this tonneau cover you get. The other CX-5, I had that. I don't know if this is like, this comes on the Grand Touring model or if this is like a dealer accessory, but this is nice so people don't steal your stuff, because I've been seeing a lot of videos in my area where people just go and break in the window and they just take everything out. They literally go from car to car breaking windows, taking everything out. So it's nice that they give you this so then they won't want to break in, even though they probably still will. You also get these little folds it down. I really like that feature, and little cubbies here in case, you know, if you're in the back of your car and then the police roll up and you're doing something illegal and you need to hide your stuff. I'm just kidding. Here's your Bose subwoofer with the spare tire. This has the optional Bose 10-speaker sound system. You got 2 speakers right there. Alright, now here is the key Mazda gives you. Honestly, I like their older key more. This one looks nicer, but this just feels really kind of cheap to me. It's like cheap plastic, and this is light, and I dropped it once and it actually got kind of nicked up. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a little nick and I just dropped it once, so RIP to this key. But oh, I like how you get this buttons on the side like you're exploding something. No sensor on the back, you just have to press this and the mirrors fold out. That is available I think on the Grand Touring models and up. I like how these mirrors fold out. Now moving on into the interior, you get an 8-way power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar and seat memory. The passenger seat is just a 6-way power, which is nice. They give you a power passenger seat, but you don't get lumbar, but at least it goes up and down. If you want electric front seats, you have to go for a package on the touring model. I like how they give you that on kind of like the lower trims. A lot of cars make you go all the way up to a higher trim to get a power passenger seat, but let's get inside. Oh my god, it is so hot. I'm sorry, but we're turning on the air because it 101 degrees. Yeah, we are hot as heck. By looking at this interior, I like this little storage area right here. It's pretty big and it keeps stuff in place. This gloss black look. This car only has 643 miles. and this is all kind of fingerprinted up, but it's whatever. Dual zone automatic climate control standard on the touring models and up. I accidentally ended the video. Heated front seats are standard on the touring models and up. Cooled front seats are standard on a package on the Grand Touring model. What's different? This model is the Grand Touring Reserve. The Grand Touring and the Grand Touring Reserve are kind of like the same thing, except the Grand Touring just has the naturally aspirated engine. But you get kind of like all the same features with the Grand Touring Reserve. However, if you want all the same features that's on this car, you have to go for a pack. Well, I just stopped this video because my phone started getting really hot. Oh my gosh, my nose is bleeding. But I hate when it gets hot. My nose always starts bleeding. What was I saying? Heated steering wheel, you get it on the Grand Touring model. I think it's on a package, you get it. It's really nice that they include that. Push button start is standard on every model. But if you want keyless entry, you have to go for the touring models up. So they really kind of just give it to you. And you also get this wood trim on the dash. This is actually real wood. It doesn't really feel that real, but apparently it is, so I believe it. This is really soft. And then this is like a leather material. And then this is soft as well. So everywhere you touch in this interior is just like really nice. Here are the door panels. I really like this stitching right here. A lot of cars like Mercedes make you pay like thousands of dollars to get just stitching. But Mazda gives it to you kind of like free on every model. I think it even might come on the sport model also. And you got that same wood trim. All the windows are one touch, which is really nice. And I really like how this orange contrasting stitching and extends all the way to right here. So you could be touching this and it's still soft. I really love that. And you get this gloss black right here. A lot of people don't like gloss black. I'm not really that much a fan of it either, but I know you could buy like on wish.com or some random website, you could buy like carbon fiber covers or like a metal look right there. It may look fake, but if you wanted to protect your gloss black, I'd say go for it. I have them in my Mazda 6 and they look pretty nice. It doesn't look hella obviously fake. I really like how this is lined in leather and it's soft. You can get the same orange contrasting and stitching. I know the touring models, this is like a hard plasticky material, and I don't really like that hard plastic material, so I will go for the models that include this. And then this is how you control your infotainment system. This is a new infotainment for 2021, and it's a new size screen. So before it was like a 7-inch display, and now it's like I think an 11 or 12-inch display. Actually, it's 10.25. I just remembered that. But honestly, I'm not really a fan of. I'm trying to like fix this. Okay, I'm not really a fan of this display. I don't know. I like Mazda's old infotainment system better. This one's just a little bit more confusing for me. I find myself having to take my eyes off the road a lot to like figure out how to do stuff. Like, let's say if you want to switch from I don't know, Bluetooth to Sirius XM, you're gonna have to be looking off the road for a long time. No navigation on this one. You can get that as a dealer accessory, but that's just what I don't like about this infotainment. However, it's really clear and I really like how it looks. I just wish they would do something with the menus, make it more easy to navigate. Because as you see, like I keep having to go from menu to menu to menu, and you got to keep going back and back. It's just not my favorite. But who cares? It's just an infotainment system. Here's a backup camera. It looks pretty good. Not the clearest, but it's not bad. No parking sensors. You have to get that as a dealer accessory or go for the signature model. And if you want a 360-degree camera, you have to go for the signature model. Putting it back into park. Let's open up this glove box. Let's zoom out for you guys. I like how it folds slowly or falls slowly, and you get this nice velvety material, and it's an okay size. And then opening up the glove box, or not the glove box, the armrest. You get 2 chargers in here, and if you pull this up, you get a pretty good amount of storage. This is a big center armrest, which I like it. I'm just gonna leave that looking like crap. I like how Mazda also gives you the orange stitching here. One thing that's different, this is an all-wheel drive model, so normally this would be a traction control button, but since this is an all-wheel drive, you get like an off-road traction assist button. Originally, I thought this was that hill descent control or whatever, but this is just like a off-road traction assist. It's just basically traction control, but it just has a different look to it. Looking at this steering wheel, this leather feels really nice. You get paddle shifters. Since this is the turbo model, these are actually pretty responsive. Comparing this to like a Hyundai Sonata N-Line, even though that doesn't really compete, obviously it's not as responsive as those paddle shifters. However, comparing these to the paddle shifters in the Mark 7 Golf I used to have, not GTI, Golf, these are way more responsive. So this is, I feel like this is responsive, but it's not like sports car responsive. You know, the Hyundai Sonata N-Line isn't a sports car, but I really like the steering wheel. One thing, I know this is a nitpicky feature, but this just feels really cheap. However, if you go for a signature model, they will line this in like some leather with some stitching, so that's why I have a signature model. Now, one thing that's nice with Mazda is they give you all the driver assistance standard, including adaptive cruise control. I know a lot of American car manufacturers make you pay a pretty penny for that. Same with German car manufacturers. You also get automatic headlights, automatic high beams, and you get rain sensing wipers standard on every model. Some cars in this class don't even have rain sensing wipers, and Mazda gives it to you on every model. So Mazda really is throwing in that luxury. And this digital display, I'll put it on screen, but I'm pretty sure you get it on the Grand Touring and up. It might be the Grand Touring Reserve and up. I know on the Mazda 6 this digital display is reserved for the signature model, but this surprised me. I had it. This is all you can do with it. I think it could be a little bit more customizable. This isn't customizable at all, so like what's so cool about a digital display if it's not customizable? Like I'd be fine with the analog display, but it's whatever. One thing that's cool is you get this head-up display. You get that on the Grand Touring, the package on the Grand Touring in this model. It's really nice. I love this heads-up display. And I really like this metal look on the Bose speaker. One thing that's nice is Mazda also gives you a auto-dimming rearview mirror. Not frameless, but that's okay. No LED lighting. You have to go for a signature model to get that. If you want black headlighting, you have to go for a signature model. Panoramic sunroof. Sorry, you don't know her. You don't get one. That, honestly, I feel like that really sets this car back, is no panoramic sunroof. Pretty much like every car in the competition has a panoramic sunroof. I know Mazda's probably going to add that when they update this vehicle, but like, it needs to have a panoramic sunroof. That actually is a huge thing with this car that I feel like really makes it worse than it could be. Not that this car is bad, but like, that's just one thing about the competition that makes them kind of stand out from this car. These leather seats are really nice. What I like this orange stitching. The one thing I don't like is I just think they need to be a little bit softer. However, they're still comfy. They could just be a little bit softer. One thing I really like about Mazda though is they have these so many different seat options and seat colors. You could get cloth, you could get leatherette with suede, you could get leather like this, or you could get red leather. Or you could get this leather, but instead of orange stitching, you could get red stitching. Or you can get like tan leather, tan leatherette, tan cloth. You can get, and then you can get brown Napa leather. Or you can get white leather. So Mazda really is like, what color do you want? Because we're not giving you, like other cars, was just black and tan. My hand's shaking. That's why the camera's looking like this. Now, looking at the back seat, rear air vents, standard on touring models and up. It's really nice because it is hot and I need these two map pockets. I like that. I like how they didn't cheap out and give you one. Folding down this armrest, what's in it? Well, let's find out. Heated rear seats, which we're not turning on. And if you want heated rear seats, I think it's on the Grand Touring, the package on the Grand Touring and up. And then what I really love is how this opens up and then you can put stuff in here. But you also get two USBs instead of just one. And I like where they put it. Instead of just putting like right here, they put it where you can't see it. I think that's really nice. I just love this spot for the USBs. Alright, sitting behind myself, I'm 6'2", 6'3". My knees are touching the seat, but that's fine. I'm still comfy. And I'm sitting behind myself, so if I needed somebody to move the seat up, I can just move it up. And I would still be comfy as a driver or the passenger. So you got plenty of room back here. People are like, well, how's it compared to the competition? Go in the competition and find out. Like, do you really need the most back seat space? This is fine enough. Looking at the door panels, you get a little storage area with a cup holder. This is all lined in leather, which this looks really nice. How the leather just extends right here. And then this is soft leather. Goes all the way back here. And then this is soft too, with that same stitching that's in the front and that same wood. So Mazda does not cheap out with these door panels like some other car manufacturers do, putting a hunk load of plastic back here. Now under the hood, you get this 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with a turbo. It produces on 87 fuel, which I'm pretty sure we have 87 fuel in this. I have a loaner car right now, so I didn't put the gas in, and I don't have it for long enough to where I'm gonna fill the tank up. If I do have it long enough where I'll put 91 in, I'll do some acceleration with the 91, but since we just have 87 in right now, it gets 227 horsepower and 310 pound-foot of torque. That's a little bit low in horsepower, but that's really high in torque for the class, so. And you also get all-wheel drive, 6-speed automatic. That's the only transmission available. No dual clutch, no more gears. Let's get on the road. Oh, if you put 91 in this, you'll get 250 horsepower and 320 pound-foot of torque. That torque is up a little bit. Before it was only 310, but since the Kia K5 and the Hyundai Sonata N-Line, they started adding 311 pound-foot of torque to their vehicles. Mazda wanted to have the most torque in the class, so they started putting 200 or 320 pound-foot of torque in all their Skyactiv G turbo engines. Fuel economy, you get 22 in the city, 27 on the highway. It could be better. I think Mazda should engineer some hybrid vehicles, but Mazda isn't the most rich car company, so they don't really have the money to be engineering that. Driving the Mazda CX-5, we're gonna have to turn the AC down a little bit. Once we start driving, it'll get colder because it's so hot. Make sure no cars are coming. One thing, that seat was giving me OCD. All right, setting off. One thing, I really like these tires. They're really smooth. It's like the first thing I talk about is the tires. They're pretty smooth and they're pretty grippy. It actually surprised me now. Let's turn the AC off so we can do, and we're going to turn off the cooled seat so we can do that acceleration run and show you guys. No cars behind us. Let's turn off the traction control. Honestly, this feels, without the 91 octane, this feels like a little bit underpowered. If you're like somebody like me who's always mashing on the throttle. Yesterday I actually tried to pass a Kia Sorento when I was merging on the highway, and I was flooring it with the AC on and like 3 people in the car, and we just stayed at the same speed. I don't know if that Kia Sorento was racing, but that's not good. Kia Sorento isn't a fast vehicle. Maybe it is, but when you push it in the turns, wow, that all-wheel drive system is grippy. Mazda does a really good all-wheel drive system. Some cars, like the all-wheel drive, it'll just send power to the rear wheels when it detects slippage. Nope. This sends it to all 4. And honestly, this handles a lot better than the front-wheel drive model. Mind you, the front-wheel drive model I drove was the, let me put on the AC back on, was the naturally aspirated model. But I don't think that would really make that much of a difference in handling. The all-wheel drive definitely, if you're somebody who likes to take the car in the turns, which is something like, it's an SUV, why are you going to be driving like that? Why not? Like, why not have a fun SUV? This is a fun SUV to drive. I have fun driving it. Let's put it in sport mode because we're going to take in the turns. I noticed the exhaust gets a little bit louder in this sport mode. See, it feels underpowered when you're like mashing the throttle, but if you're like doing half throttle, this thing performs well. Now, one thing I did notice with the 2021 powertrain versus my Mazda CX-5 2018 powertrain, different vehicle, but it's the same powertrain, however mine's front wheel drive. This transmission feels like it's just a tiny bit quicker. I think Mazda tuned it to shift quicker. And Mazda tries to make they claim this 6-speed is supposed to be like, they try to make it have the characteristics of a CVT while also having the characteristics of a dual clutch. I noticed the CVT characteristics, but that's a good thing in a good way. Like, you know how CVTs be like smooth, and then sometimes you don't, like CVTs don't shift because it has fake gears, but you don't feel this transmission shift a lot of times because it's so smooth. And this is a really reliable transmission. It's bulletproof, which people have said. All right, let's do a little half throttle. You definitely notice that extra, 23 horsepower, whatever, 27 minus whatever equals 250. And you also feel that extra 10 pound of torque, 10 foot-pound, whatever. You also feel that extra torque. This car definitely feels a little bit underpowered when it's on 87, but when it's on 91 octane, this moves. So honestly, I would recommend putting 91 octane in this. This transmission, this powertrain is pretty responsive in sports mode. It doesn't, when you put in sports mode, you don't really feel it change up all that much. All it does is really just change how the gears hold. But it's already kind of sporty feeling, so that's probably why. Like, I know my mom's Ford Escape. Hers, when you put it in sport mode, that whole car changes up. But it doesn't feel sportier than this. It just feels way sportier than it does before. This car already feels kind of sporty. But it's not going to beat you up. This has a really good ride quality. I love these. No, we did not break any traction at all. We took that turn a lot faster than most people would. See, like, this just carves corners. The all-wheel drive really helps it out. It almost feels like a lifted up hatchback in a way. Damn, we almost just got taken out by a BMW. This is a great road for people to test out the handlings of their car. This bitch doesn't want me to pass. Fucking bitch going over in my lane when I'm passing. I should brake check him right now. Nah, because we're doing this car review. We're testing out the characteristics of the driving. We haven't got time to be getting in road rage. Plus, road rage is pointless. Now, here's where you can really... This car's controllable. Other SUV, it would have been sus doing that. Like, this gets, like, if this starts getting a little bit sus around the turns, when the imposter is sus, no, I'm just kidding. When this starts getting a little bit sus around the turns, it's easy manageable and it's easily controllable. Like, you know those SUVs are like, oh shit, when it gets around the turn. Now it's cute. Me going on the opposite side of the road, I can see people are coming, so it's safe doing that. People are gonna be like, oh my god, that's so unsafe. No, I can literally see way ahead of someone's coming, and I don't do that all the time. I just wanted to do it to show you guys that turn right there. These are good brakes too. Oh, cars coming. Maybe, why does it feel like it's accelerating better when it has the cooled seats on and we're not in sport mode? Actually, apparently sport mode sometimes makes it accelerate just like a millisecond faster in some cars, or slower in some cars. I love this all-wheel drive. I would get the all-wheel drive model. I definitely would, especially if you need all-wheel drive. But if you are somebody who just likes having fun, you need an SUV, but you don't want a boring SUV, this is a perfect SUV because it's super luxurious inside, super premium, not luxurious. Maybe a little bit luxurious, but super nice inside. This is fun to drive. I actually have fun driving this. I'm not an SUV person at all. And really reliable. And this is pretty cheap. Actually, this model isn't, but $37,000 for this. If you went for a BMW or a competition or a Audi for that price, you would be getting a lot less features. And if you went for something like, I don't know, a Ford Escape or like a Nissan Rogue or other, they're just not going to be as fun to drive as this. However, the Hyundai, I haven't driven the new Tucson, but Hyundai's coming out with a Tucson N-Line, which I'm sure that'll blow this out of the water. So, you know, I'm going to be testing that when it comes out. I'm excited to get that, but oh, let me show you guys a paddle shifter. We hella tailgated because we're using these paddle shifters. These are pretty responsive. Let's turn the AC back on because we're getting hot. I like these paddle shifters. You know, a vehicle like this, you might not be using the paddle shifters, but I like how Mazda, they're like, if you want to use them, we give them to you. And they're not going to be useless. Because some vehicles, yeah, you get paddle shifters, but then it's like, they take a second to shift and they barely work. These work great. Super responsive. Damn, that car just hella pulled out in front of him. Oh, how much does this car cost though? I think I said $37,000, which is a little bit expensive, but for what you get, it's pretty good and it's pretty reliable. So honestly, I would pick up one of these used. Sorry.